And so for you, like, what dating experience and all of that there?
And what made me want to be single?
First, yes.
'Cause I
What
think
made
that's
you choose that first, right? You don't have to go into a whole bunch of details if you don't want to. So what made you choose that? And then also after leaving, what was your experience in dating?
Um, I wanted to be single because it felt like I was already single within that relationship. Um, I just felt like a lot of the duties and things that I needed from my partner at the time weren't being fulfilled. And it's one thing for it not to be fulfilled momentarily, but for me not to feel heard or seen within the relationship means that it would never be fulfilled. It would just be on me, and I just didn't want that for my life. Could I have dealt with that? Yes. Because I feel like I'm very patient and I'm a very understanding person, but that can also be my downfall.
So what made you feel like you weren't being heard and seen? Like,
Um,
was he like not making you like? Was he not feeding you properly, or was he like?
she knows firsthand.
You know.
I just feel like you gotta kind of like, when you get out, you do so much to get them, and then you have them, and it's just like a lack of all those things.
Yeah.
I just feel like
All
you
what
gotta kind
things
of,
so?
all like we're going out to dinner and we're dating and we're
Okay, so courtship type.
yes, like
Yeah.
keep flowing when you're in a
Yeah.
relationship.
I realized that, but see, that wasn't my major issue with my ex because, I get it. People get comfortable, right? Because I got a little bit comfortable too.
Life happens.
Yeah, life happens.
Life gets involved.
I get when you're with one person for a while, it could be like it's just us, like all that stuff kind of dies down. But it was the zeal and the want to grow our family,
Okay.
and I guess I don't want to say being from New York, but just my attitude. I'm very ambitious. I'm very like fast forward, and I want to grow. I want to get past like in 5 years. I do want to see a change. I don't want to keep doing the same thing, because although I can be loyal to someone, I do get bored at the same time, and those don't that boredness and that idleness doesn't bring out the best qualities within me.
Right.
So
I agree.
so things have to
So
change.
being bored and being idle,
Mm-hmm.
you said qualities that bringing out the best qualities.
Mhm.
What are the worst qualities that it brings from you being bored and idle? What are the worst
I don't want to
qualities?
mention that on this podcast because I don't want to be judged for something that I'm not.
We're not judging.
Okay.
There's no judging.
I seek out. I'm just gonna say the truth. Then I start to seek out individuals that are like me,
Right.
That are like you.
outside
Like
the
men
relationship.
or men?
Right.
Men, for sure.
Seeking out men who feel neglected or feel like they're not being seen within a relationship.
No, none of those. Seek out men who are trying to advance
And
Who's trying-
and
that.
want
Who
more
have
for their
ambition.
life. Yeah.
Okay, ambitious men. Okay, so you're so basically you're in that relationship or space, and then he's not being ambitious, right? And striving to be romantic with you.
Romantic. All of the above. He's not striving to be romantic and see where my headspace is.
Right.
He's not striving to be financially ambitious. He's not striving to be just a better him than he was yesterday.
So basically, what you're saying is we'll take on the ones who aren't there yet to
Yeah.
build them up.
Okay.
But why do we have to continue to build you up after this stuff?
Right.
I used to do that. I used to want to build them up from the ground up. I don't want
Right.
to do that. I have to work on me, and I'm gonna build me up.
Right.
What you gonna do while I'm doing that?
Right.
You can
Because
Okay.
at the end of the day, I have that within me. That's just who I am. So even if I'm at this plateau now,
Mhm.
that's not.
That's not
I can never just be content right here.
Okay.
Never. So even when we become millionaires together, I'm still gonna be like, baby, how can we become billionaires?
Okay, so that's your mindset. What's the next level?
What's the next level?
Okay. So you would say in that particular space, you were looking for that next level, and he was not looking for the next level.
I'm not sure what he was looking for, but
was it a minor setback for a major comeback, or was it like just a setback?
Because, and I'm glad I have my cousin here because she's seen this relationship blossom from beginning to end. And at first it seemed like, thank you. At first it seemed like this was a great catch, but over time I realized he probably realized what kind of spirit I had on me, and that I was determined to win whether he was or not. And he kind of got comfortable within that space. And I mean, that's okay. And I think he's a good man, but just not the man for me.
Just not the man for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, say he's a good man, just not the man for you. Mm-hmm. And lacking ambition and motivation.
Motivation, yeah. And when I'm talking about heterosexual or any relationship.
Okay. All right.
I feel like you need a healthy balance. There's going to be some days where I don't feel as motivated to do certain things as you may be. And that's your job to come in and be like, hey, baby, we should get up and do this. We should, work on this. Or, nah, you're not going to miss work today. Get up. And, and then at
keeping
the end
you
of the day.
on track. Or keeping you like focused on what needs to get done.
Right. And
at
the end of the day, I can come back and say, you know what? I'm actually glad I went to the gym because you told me to. I'm actually glad I took that client when I could have just stayed home because, someone that won't allow you to get in your own way.
Right, will allow you to just do what you got to do. And of course, it takes, from what we know, men typically are visionaries, right? They're creators. They see something, they do it, they build it, and they grow, right? And that's just kind of what men do. They're visual. They're visuals. They're creators. You know what I'm saying? Right. But also decisive in what most men, right? Men who should be decisive in what they feel they need to get done and do. Like, you just gotta know how to hold on to things like that. Like that type of quality, it's gotta be something that's second nature.
Exactly.
It can't be a quality that's necessarily taught or trained on.
Right.
It's mostly
within you.
Well, yeah, it has to be in you, but also because it could be in you and you could like fail to exercise it or use it, those qualities because maybe you're tired. I don't know. You know what I mean? But
it has to be a part of you.
Right. It has to be something in you, right, to make you want to do it.
Yeah.
So, okay, so in that relationship space, he was lacking the motivation to take the family to the next level. And you had how many, you had children with him?
Yeah.
Okay. How many?
I have 2 children.
Okay, boy and girl?
Boy and girl.
Okay, what's the ages?
My eldest is 5. That's a girl, my firstborn. And my son is 2. Well, he just turned 3.
Okay.
All right. Shout out to my babies.
Yeah. And so after leaving, right? Once you left, did it flip a switch for him?
Oh, for sure it did.
Okay. It was a wake-up call, sort of?
Sort of. Because
now
all of a sudden, he has a business and he's doing different things. And I really had to pray about it, because, when you leave a situation, no matter how bad it is, you still mourn the relationship. So I had to think man, was it me holding him back? Did he not just see me as the woman that was deserving of this? Or was it a wake-up call?
Was it a wake-up call?
So, I really thought about it, and it wasn't, I just come to realize that it's not my business to know what it was. I'm just happy that he was able to wake up and see that something has to change for his life. And it wasn't just the lack of motivation. It was a number of things. It was the betrayal that I went through within the relationship because I had forgiven him for a number of things. But it was just the fact that we were just better off friends. And sometimes when you move too fast within something, you get a bad result. So, we were just better off as friends. And the biggest lessons that I took from that relationship are my relationship are my children. Okay. And I get that sometimes people are in your life for a season. And I was, I came to terms with that. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So, boom, you left, bomb, you out.
Yeah.
Bada boom. He gets motivated. He kind of does his thing. Do you feel like that you wish you was with him right now?
Hell no.
Why?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Absolutely
he
not.
Got business. He doing his thing.
And I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him, and I want him to just support his children.
Okay. So okay, cool. So now, but you did mention this, right? You said that you start to seek out other men who seem to be or who are in the more motivated, more driven. Okay, so do you feel as though there was some infidelity there? You feel like that you were actually were involved with somebody else who, during that time who had the motivation,
Yeah. Okay. If I'm being honest, yes, I did seek out emotional support.
Emotional support. So
yes.
You wanted to talk to another man about what you're experiencing.
Yes, and not necessarily physical.
Yeah.
Because for a woman, it's different.
Yeah.
If I don't feel like you're hearing me, you're seeing me, you don't respect what I'm saying or what I'm suggesting.
Well, let's say this. Before we go dip out into seeking anything else on the outside, we express this to our partner.
Oh, plenty of times.
These are expressed. These are not things that are just
come out of nowhere.
And then we just decide to go branch off.
Right. Right.
What people fail to realize is when people say, "Oh, but you don't see how you got me here." That's the truth.
That's the real.
You got me here now. You didn't cause me to go branch out.
Okay. Go ahead.
But all these things that I asked for in you, I asked you for. So I told you exactly what I needed. I gave you the blueprint. It was up to you with what you were going to do with it. You didn't do anything with it. And yes, we should leave instead of doing the
branching out.
But it's hard. We all know that it's hard. We want to be in this relationship. We see the potential in this relationship. So we're not trying to leave.
That's the point. I wanted it to be him so bad.
Absolutely.
So
that
bad.
potential, you can't go off that potential.
Yeah.
You can't go off that potential either.
Can't go off just potential.
No,
okay. All right. And so nothing as far as when you first met this guy struck you as somebody who maybe I shouldn't be with him?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Maybe potentially he could be a good man if I pour into him.
He had red flags.
So you saw potentially he could be a better man if I poured into him.
Yes.
Is what your thought was?
Because can I get personal?
That's what we're here for.
Okay. At first, this individual, he has 2 kids outside of our children, and he didn't really. I want to say he didn't have a strong relationship with them. But once I told him and I expressed to him that we were probably spending too much time, that he should spend more time with his children, it was like this. Now when we're spending time with the kids. And my cousin knows this firsthand because we would go pick up her daughter. And his children and her daughter will spend weekends at my place. And we would have a good time. And I seen him in this fatherly figure. And being pregnant at that time, it just made me feel wow, this is who I'm getting. Yeah, this is who I'm getting.
He already had children.
Yes. He had 2 kids outside of our 2. So it just made me feel like, see, he just needs a little bit of, enlightenment. Like, yeah, like maybe he needed to be told that because no one in his corner is telling him how important these relationships with his children are. So, I started to, so I kind of overlooked the fact that these kids are 5 and 4 years old, and he hadn't tried to do that a long time ago. Girl, what are you tripping on? Like, he's not trying to do that. Mm-hmm. I kind of overlooked that because, for one, I had, never dealt with a man that closely that had kids like within the same city as them. Because I dated another man with children, but they lived in another state. So that's kind of like, well, there's no way you're gonna see them every weekend,
right,
type thing. Okay. But there were definitely red flags, and I kind of overlooked them because he was so different than my ex was, because I only had like one serious relationship before him. So he was so different, and I just really truly felt like being pregnant so early with him, I felt like maybe I tried to make it work or tried to make it something that it really was, and I kind of blinded myself.
Okay.
Can y'all excuse me for a minute? Can the questions go on initially?
Why?
I just had this restroom.
Oh, tingle.
Yeah, I know y'all
need a potty break. I got questions. I got more questions. Okay. But first of all, before we even do anything, listen. This is the reason why, right? That men being involved in young ladies or women's dating life is pivotal. It's very important because as a man, I understand what a man looks like. I understand how to pick a man. I understand if a man is leading with strength, with power, or if he's going to be weak as fuck, right? Because I can look at him and tell. And men have that distinct instinct to be able to do so. You know what I'm saying? And, women tend to go based on their emotions, how they feel, rather than what truly is there. So, like, even though they might see some situations where, okay, I don't feel like he's going to protect me, they'll still give him an opportunity to grow from it, right? Whereas to where it would be unacceptable for a man to see another man who will not protect his daughter or protect his grandchildren or wouldn't just die, right? Because as men, that's exactly what we should be doing. Obviously, that's what we are designed to do. We're designed for battle. We're designed for war. As to where the woman is designed to be the nurturer, the ones who are to care for the home, who to be sure to keep the man in good health, but they also are warriors too. They have to be. But we don't. But we're gonna keep it real. Women are very strong. They're very, valuable pieces to use. But of course, to overcome the outpower of men is just something that can't be done. But there's opportunities if you're able to be well trained as a woman to be able to defend yourself and defend the house. But you should be the last resort. There's no way in hell I'm finna be letting nobody tell me to go and take the children and hide in the closet while some woman goes and protect. That right there, my nuts is all the way off, right? All up in the purse. But that's just me. Same thing, when you have that mindset to send your woman out to work while you stay home, you're doing the same thing. It's the same exact thing. You're sending her out to the world to where she has to protect and defend you and allow you to stay home with the children and hide. As men, we should be out here conquering or excuse my language, right? We should be out here conquering earth. You should be driven to do what you have to do and doing what it takes to get it done, right? Um, using the right skills to be able to think about what you need to accomplish. So, my thing is this, right? I really wanted to learn more about cars a few years ago. I really wanted to learn more about cars, right? Because there's situations where a vehicle would have issues with roads or whatever. We gotta take it to a shop, pay what, $200 to $500 for the shop to do it. At the time, I'm not gonna be trying to drop that much money on things. So I'm like, what I did was I bought an old Buick rendezvous. Had some issues with the engine. Had some engine problems. I pulled apart that whole engine, fixed just about everything: cylinder heads, rocker arms, all that stuff, coolant hoses, everything. Just went front and back. Radiator replaced. I even did the rotors, right? But by the end of everything, I knew so much more that I took apart at least an engine at least a couple more times after that. So it was just like, having that vision and saying, you know what, this is something that I need to do. This is something that's got to be done, and I got to learn how to do it. That's how you gain skills as a man. This is how you continue to have your testosterone pumping and flowing properly. Is if you find new challenges and you overcome those challenges and you conquer. That's just kind of what we desire to do. So she ran from the questioning. It was getting too thick.
Don't say it.
She said she had the tinkle. All right.